everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lowwapanews, a program made by Scouts for Scouts right here in the Northeastern Pennsylvania Council. My name is Leo Cahages, and welcome to all of our viewers from throughout Pennsylvania and across the country. On this week's episode, we'll check out an amazing scouting recipe and also look into some scouting history. Before that, though, we go to Lowwapanews weather correspondent Tanner Manzoni for your weekend weather report.
Hi everybody, my name is Tanner and here's your weather forecast. So today we are going to have a chance of rain with a high of 66 and a low of 58. And Saturday there are going to be chances of some thunderstorms. So everybody stay safe, stay inside. You should be doing that anyways right now, quarantine. And Saturday you're going to have a high of 73 and a low of 60. So, everybody, enjoy your weekend as much as you can. Again, my name's Tanner, and enjoy the show.
Thanks, Tanner. Up next, we head to our outdoor kitchen for a cooking segment with chef extraordinaire himself, Matt Matishka.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Matishka, and I'm an Eagle Scout from Troop 132. I'm also the Lodge Secretary. Today, we're going to be doing a little cooking, and my favorite way to cook during the summer is over a fire, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Today we're going to be making Stromboli using a foil pack. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay out our dough. I've already done so. I bought Pillsbury canned dough to make it a lot easier, but you can make your own dough if you want. Next, we're going to take our sauce and we're going to spread it out all over the dough. So I'm just going to pour a little down and then spread it out with a spoon, or you can also use a spatula. Okay. You don't want to spread it too close to the edges or else it'll leak out. Okay, after that's all spread out, we're going to take our cheese and we're going to generously spread it all over the pizza crust. Like so. Perfect. Okay, so now comes the fun part where you can really do whatever you want with it. I'm choosing to use ham, salami, and pepperoni in mine, but you can add whatever you want. Maybe peppers or onions or anything like that. So the first thing I'm going to take is ham. I'm going to be using about a half pound of ham for each Stromboli I'm making, and we're just going to lay that all the way across it. Again, not too close to the edges or else everything will stick out and it won't roll up properly. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm going to take my salami and I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the ham and spread it out all over the pizza crust. Okay, perfect. And finally, I'm going to take pepperoni and do the same. Just like so. And now we're going to roll the Stromboli. So this is a little tedious here. I'm going to stand up to make it easier. So we're just going to start from one end. Gently lift it up and form it into a roll. But to be careful not to break the pizza crust and also make sure that you're rolling it tightly. Now if you notice, all this stuff over here is starting to stick out a little bit, so I'm going to stretch my pizza crust just so I have enough that it doesn't poke out at the end. So I'm going to keep rolling all the way to the end, and I have a nice roll like that. And I'm going to take the end where it ended rolling and push it down a little bit so that it's connected to the other half. Then I'm going to take the roll after it's all compressed and pushed together nicely, and I'm going to take it in my tin foil, roll it up just like we did with the roll itself, and then I'm going to fold in the edges, keep rolling, and fold in the edges some more. Keep rolling, like so. You want to make sure you're using enough tin foil that you can cover it about 3 times over or else it'll burn in the fire. So after it's nicely rolled in the tin foil, I'm going to head over to the fire and we'll start cooking. Welcome back everyone. We're at the fire now and we're going to get ready to cook our Stromboli. So some things to note when you're cooking on a fire. You don't want it to be a big fire with a lot of flame. You want it to be nice and well established and burnt down to coals like this one is. If there's big flames, there's going to be cold spots and hot spots in the fire and your food will likely burn. So now that my fire's burnt down nicely, it's been going for almost an hour now. I'm going to put my Stromboli on the fire, like so, right on top of the coals, and we're going to let it cook for 30 to 45 minutes, and we're going to turn them about halfway through. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes now, so we're going to go ahead and carefully flip them over. Like so. And we're going to let them go for another 15 minutes or so and then check to see if they're done. Okay, I think they're about done, so now I'm going to take one out and double check to make sure it's cooked. So I just took one off the fire to double check if it was cooked, and it looks like it's cooked, so I'm going to go ahead and take the other one off now. Alright, so here is the final product. It's pretty good if I do say so myself. Thank you all for tuning in, and remember to stay safe and wash your hands.
Thanks, Matt. That looked amazing. Up next, we go to a brand new segment on Lowwapanews called Goat Talk.
Today on Goat Talk, we'll be talking about the story of scouting. Alongside me is Lowwapanews' goat correspondent, Zeus. Ready to get started? Great. Some 500 million people have been scouts, including prominent people in every field. All this began with 20 boys at an experimental camp in 1907. It was held during the first 9 days of August in 1907 at Brownsea Island, near Poole, in Dorset, England. The camp was a great success, and proved to its organizer, Lord Robert Baden-Powell, that his training and methods appealed to young people and really worked. In January of 1908, Baden-Powell published the first edition of Scouting for Boys. It was an immediate success and has since sold over 100 million copies, making it one of the best-selling books of all time. Baden-Powell had only intended to provide a method of training boys, something that existing youth organizations such as the Boys Brigade and the YMCA could adopt. To his surprise, youngsters started to organize themselves into what was to become one of the largest voluntary youth movements in the world. The success of Scouting for Boys produced a movement that quickly adopted the name of the Boy Scouts. By 1909, Scouting for Boys had been translated into 5 different languages, and a scout rally in London attracted more than 11,000 scouts. As the result of Lord Baden-Powell taking a holiday in South America, Chile was one of the first countries outside of Britain to begin scouting. In 1910, he visited Canada and the United States, where it had already started. The coming of World War I in 1914 could have brought about the collapse of the movement, but the training provided through the patrol system proved its worth. Volunteers took over when adult leaders volunteered for active service. Scouts contributed to the war effort in England in many ways. Most notable, perhaps, were the Sea Scouts, who took the place of regular Coast Guardsmen, freeing them from service. The first World Scout Jamboree took place in 1920, with 8,000 participants, and proved that young people from different nations could come together to share common interests and ideas. Scouting began as a program for boys from 11 to 18 years of age, yet almost immediately, others also wanted to participate. The Girl Guides program was started in 1910 by Baden-Powell, who designated his sister Agnes to manage it. In 1915, Robert Baden-Powell became chairman of the Girl Guides Association, and his wife Olav, whom he married in 1912, became the new chief guide in 1918. A Wolf Club section was formed for younger boys. It used Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book to provide an imaginative symbolic framework for activities. For older boys, what did you say? Oh, for older boys, a Rover Scout branch was formed. Now, between the 2 world wars, scouting continued to flourish in nearly all parts of the world. What started as a smaller camp on Brownsea Island is today a growing movement with members in nearly every country in the world. Through its unique combination of adventure, education, and fun, scouting manages to continuously renew and adapt itself to a changing world and the different needs and interests of young people across the globe. In doing so, it continues to be an inspiration for young people to become active local and global citizens, helping them in creating a better world. What was that? I'm sorry, my co-host needs a drink. that better? Did I clear your throat? There we go. All set. All right, you have anything else? That about does it for this week's episode of Goat Talk. Up next, let's move on to a Scoutmaster's Minute with Mr. Jerkowski. Thanks, Zeus.
Thank you, Leo. My name is Mike Jerkowski. I'm the advisor for the Brotherhood Committee in Lowwapanoo Lodge. And I want to take a moment with this Scoutmaster Minute to talk about one of the first points of this, or one of the first parts, I should say, of the Scout Oath, and that is to do your best. These are trying times in our country and in the things that we're going to, and it's unprecedented as to what we're facing. But I was greatly encouraged by a piece on the news this morning where it showed some scouts in Tunkhannock that were putting some flags on veterans' graves, this being Memorial Day weekend. And it made me reflect on that a little bit. As these times are tough, but I also think about what the veterans and our current servicemen and women are going through. Yeah, we're locked in our house and we have to stay at home, but many of them aren't even near their family and haven't been around their family for years. Some of our servicemen never came home to see their families again. But no matter what, when they went out to serve this country, I know that they did their very best in doing that. And we're doing that here in scouting too, whether it be these scouts in Lowwapanoo Lodge that are trying to provide a scouting program for you, or your adult leaders and volunteers, our scouting professionals, trying to provide you with this great scouting program. And it made me reflect on that and what scouting is about, and what the Brotherhood of Cheerful Service of the Order of the Arrow is about in serving others. And to see those scouts do that was very inspiring. And I want to encourage all of you and challenge you to keep doing your best, to do your best to maintain and stay active in this program as best you can. And we're going to come out of this okay. We always do. We've been faced with adversity before, and as before, we're going to be just fine. It might be a little different. It may not be the same, but we are going to, and everybody's going to be okay. So hang in there. Keep up the great work. Keep scouting. And don't forget this weekend, or at any point in time, thank a veteran or a service man or woman for their service to this great country, to allow us to have the freedoms that we do. Thank you, and good scouting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jerkowski. That's the end of this week's episode of Lowwapanews. Tune in next week for some more scouting content. Until then, this has been Leo Cahages reminding you to keep on scouting.